What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Simulation for the Nation, and welcome today to something just a little bit different. We are doing a mod review today, which I know a lot of you might think is a bit weird because I haven't done one of these in forever. It's not really my thing. I'll leave that to the pros. But these giants caught my eye when I was perusing through the mod hub, and I couldn't really say no. We are looking here at the Fortschritt E512 series combine. They've just gone into the mod hub today. Or they've just been uploaded today, and they are created by two modders, Rihanna and Lucky86. So we're going to have a look through both of these models. Now, I should preface this before we go any further by saying that this particular modeler combine holds a special place in my heart, and I'll get into that later on. But as we look at it now, we have two different machines here. We have one with the old cab, which is the super old cab, shaped like a greenhouse, really. The cab on that model, and then over here we have what they class in this inverted commas as the new cab. Still nice and boxy, but it's angular and it's funky, and it's got a huge air conditioning box thing on the top of it. So the configurations are quite simple with this. You can have either the old cab or the new cab, and the other configuration is that you can get a straw chopper on the back. Looky here. Now, the other difference that we need to consider is, or the thing that I really like about this, is they are so well modeled. I'm not talking about textures, or I'm not talking about bitmaps or anything like that. They just portray the machines as they should be. Fortschritt models were Eastern European, I do believe, and they weren't built to be the best. They weren't built to be the fanciest. They were just built to work. They were very simple in the design, and they were just workhorses. You could go at it and fix it with a hammer and a wrench, and the problem would go away. And so with that in mind, as you have a look around the machine here, you can see that simplicity is being brought through into the model. We look at the reel, for example. It's a very simple chain system. Nothing's covered, nothing's guarded. Health and safety probably have a thing to say about that these days, but it's all there, and it just looks very simple and elegant. We have the two different size headers we're looking at here. The one on the left here is a 4.2 meter, and the one on the right is a 5.7 meter. And yeah, as we wander around here, before we get inside the cab, what I want to show you is look at the simplicity of everything. We have some ladders here that we can fold up, get out of the way there, which is very nice. And very rare on combines because a lot of them have an automated script that means when you unfold the combine, they fold up, which I really don't like at all. You look at the auger here. The auger was always very, very simple, but also quite poor. It has a very simple kind of joint where it was either on or off. The newer combines had like an elbow joint, so they could open and pivot, whereas this could only really open up and lock into place and work. And you can see there that it's kind of depicting that very well. A small ram on the bottom end, and that swings in. And we'll get to that a little bit later in more detail. But as we come up to each of these combines here, we're able to open up all of the covers on the side, and that uncovers all of the pulleys inside. Now the pulleys here are obviously running the threshing system. The belts, the drives come from the feeder house up into the thresher, and then the thresher down to the sieve at the bottom, and then the sieve then goes all the way up into the tank at the top. Now what's great about this is, again, just look how simple it is. There's only the pulleys that need to be there. There's nothing special about it. And again, if something came wrong, you could identify what the problem was very quickly and get onto it and solve it. Straw chopper is exactly what you'd expect it to be. And again, how do you engage a straw chopper? By just folding it up and putting the belt on. Nice and simple. And we come around this side again. We've got a further two more panels. Even as you look up close, the panels, for my mind, are showing the weathered, beaten conditioning, really. They're old, they're haggard, they need a bit of attention, which is, again, what I think is perfect. It sums this up ideally. We open up these two, and this time we can see the grain elevator go from the bottom up to the tank there, and we've got some more pulleys down here to help power those. The same thing applies on the smaller model here. With the older cab, all of the panels open up still, and as do the stairs. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into this model here with a smaller cab. Now, they were never built for comfort, and this clearly shows that it is sparse in here really. On the side here you have your 3 levers and your throttle on the side. Those levers control the front reel, so up and down, and then the adjustments of the reel. And you got your various buttons here. You got your gauges, your fuel, your battery, your pressures, and then you've got your toggle switches there to engage. These were mainly for things like lights, really. This lever down at the bottom here was your gears. So you had 3 forward and 1 reverse gear. And you got your steering wheel. You have your foot. I think one was a clutch, one was a brake. The 2 pedals on either side, that one, the steering wheel, and that one there were adjustment ratchets, really, which is crazy to think that they used to be done with a big metal handle and not a little switch on the dial. And then on the side here we got our 4 levers. Now those 4 levers had a very prominent role. They were for the they engaged the threshing unit, they engaged the powered on the reel at the front, they would engage the straw chopper drive, things like that. So all very important. But as you can see here, it does look like someone has stolen a large part of your greenhouse, and they've kind of bolted it on the front of the combine, really. But then that's what it did. Nice and simple. And as we come around to this machine, this is where it becomes apparent why my love affair with this mod is so strong. And whilst we're up here, I'll just show you the engine as well. We can open up the grain tank, so we've got a little bit of grain in there. And our very basic engine. Not a lot going on here. Wasn't very powerful, but it will still tick over. And we'll show you it all as we get it all driving. So we go into here. So exactly the same layout here as we have on the older version of the cab. The one difference I would have is that when I was very young, from the ages of about 6 onwards, I spent a lot of my summer childhood sat on a little cushion on all of those 4 levers when they were pushed down. So they would all go down to the floor and I'd sit there. We had one of these in our farm, and this view brings back so many memories of me and my old man. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm very delighted that this mod has come along. From a modelling standpoint, yes, maybe a little bit more colour in the cab would be ideal, but what I think this really does, maybe the textures on the 2 adjustment levers on the side would be great, but this really rings home how the actual vehicle was built way back when. This depicts the simplicity, in my mind, really, really well. We got rust coming through the door there because, of course, the doors never shut properly. This door was a sliding door, and it would never latch shut properly at times. So it would always be when you were turning the corner or going down a hill, the door would slide to the open or shut position. The air conditioning was at best poor, never really came through very well. And it was just a very primitive cab design, really. Nothing really changed. I mean, look at the seat. It's like someone's just stolen an old school chair. God Lord, but it's great. I absolutely love it. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come out to the aerial view because I'm going to start up the machine. Listen to it purr. So as you can see there, as we look in the top, we've got a little bit of rock on the engine mount, which is probably to be expected. But what I really like is when we slip this into engage the drive. We're going to come back out here. So obviously the header is away. That's all working as we'd expect there. We've got the cutter bars coming across, so they're driven by a rocket inside here, which we probably can't open. No. You can see we have motion on the knives on the sickle bar as that goes backwards and forwards. Let's not get too close to the reel. Fully animated reel as we'd expect there. All the chain actually rotates around on the pulley system here, which is great. But mainly, as you come back to the combine itself, all of the pulleys here that are engaged with the threshing unit are spinning. The belts are spinning with them. You can see there that we have, so the thresher is being driven there, and then we have the separated down the bottom here, which will the final kind of separation of the chaff and the seed. Before the seed, when we come around to this corner, the seed comes up the elevator there, and will eventually find itself in the grain tank. If I just come back around. And as you can see, we've got the auger in the grain tank working, so that is bringing the seed up from the belt, which is kind of under my feet here, and into the tank, and then it would go out of the auger there. Now, get back in. I'm going to shut close the pipe, shut the auger for you, and as you can see what I mean about the simplicity of the auger pipe. It is just a pivot and a lock. That's all there is to it, nothing more than that. Quite often this wouldn't work properly, if I recall, so we'd always have to leave, unlike modern machines where you would open out the auger when you need to unload and then close it again. Once it was out, you typically left it out because it quite often wouldn't lock properly. So you just wouldn't want to risk it, so you'd bring it out and then that'd be it. It would stay there until you're finished. Once or twice when I was a little bit older, I had to actually get out, stand in the grain trailer and push the pipe so it would shut properly. But there you go. So what I'm going to do now, we're just going to have a quick view. I'm going to shut these up, down first. Shut 1, shut 2, shut 3, and shut 4. So we're going to have a quick drive up, get some cutting done, and we'll see how it handles. But it just sounds old and rickety even. It sounds like it's had a long life, which is, you know, probably the same as the Fortschritt did even when it was 2 days old. You know, it never sounded healthy. When these came to the UK, a lot of them weren't known as Fortschritt. Some of them were known as Bon Hills. That's certainly what that was known as, but I think that was just the UK branding. But it was all the same. I'll move our reel up a little bit there. Standard kind of animation for the crop feed into the feeder house. Now we do get buzzers and beepers when and the light will flash when we get over 50, like 25%, 50%, 75%, and obviously stop at 100% grain capacity. So right now we are 55, so it gives us a little flash. Yeah, even the metalwork's starting to look old and fatigued. The paint's bobbling a little bit. Now that could be, I'm not a modeler, I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I think it looks fantastic, I really do. The rust on the top of the air conditioning unit, it's happened almost immediately. A little bit of damp got to that and it would start to rust over, so that's very, very lifelike, very realistic. Got a decent sized cut on here. Oh, hello Klein. Decent sized cut on here given the age of the combine as well. Not a huge grain tank as one would expect, but it's handy. When these machines came around as well, this is what a 5.7 meters. So that's going to be about 17 foot. That's a big cut. But it would be a long day to spend 10, 11 hours in here working. You would soon know about it. It would be a little bit uncomfortable, I'd say. So we might get all the way up here, I'm not quite sure. 80, yeah, we should do. Oh, I've missed a bit. So there you have it. The Fortschritt E512 series combine by Rihanna and Lucky86, available on the mod hub now. Do go and download it, have a go with it. I think it's a fantastic mod. I really, really do. Can't recommend it highly enough. It's a little bit different to Election. You're probably not going to get as much work done in a day if you sat on here as you would in a, I know, Election 780 or something, but I think it's got more character than Election could ever have, personally. So with that in mind, I'm going to leave it here. I should probably... Oh, we've even got our animated throttle and gear sticks as well. I should probably just head on myself back down there, and then who knows, I might just keep going and see how much of this fuel I can harvest. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this, something a little bit different from me. There may be more coming in the future, depends if we see another mod that really tugs at the old heartstrings. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Simulation for the Nation. You have been fantastic as always. If you have liked this, don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It really does make a big deal for the channel. Until next time, stay safe, enjoy what you're doing, but most importantly, happy farming.